renationalising these giants, are you actually talking about the generators, the distributors, or the whole sector?
Well, I mean, to start with, I was fascinated to see that Rishi Sunak is calling for energy security for Britain. I mean, by the late 1970s, Britain had virtually secured energy security. So you have to ask yourself, what's got wrong? A lot of things have gone wrong. And of course, there's been changes in uses of energy. But yes, I think that the big five utilities should be taken back into public ownership. I think the failing electricity companies will have to be. They've already been bailed out. So there's been a kind of public intervention anyway. The intervention for the small electricity bulb cost, I think, something in the region of 2.5 billion, which is what the Trades Union Congress say would cost to take over the big five. So, yes, absolutely. And by the way, this isn't just an argument from the left. As you know, Alistair, President Macron, he's no socialist. He's just renationalised EDF. And here's the thing.
I do understand. I know that, and we discussed that point as well. But Mark, let me butt in. Yeah, let me butt in to make this point. It's a crucial point. When you and I and my next guest, Rory, had talked about this way back in the 80s, this was about an ideological statement of intent, the commanding heights of the economy, Clause 4 of the Labour Party. It seems to me, and this is what's shocked me personally, is that this argument isn't coming principally as an ideological alternative to free marketeer Tories. It's coming from Joe and Joanna Public, who've just had enough.
Yes, and I think it's a shame, really, that it got caught up in ideological arguments, frankly, because, to be honest with you, I was a Clause 4 Labour Party person, but it's kind of less relevant now. The issue is what works, as people keep on saying. Well, this so-called market is not working. And clearly, public need now is more important than private greed. And politicians of all hues will understand that to turn around and say to people, put on an extra jumper this winter, put on an extra cardigan or whatever, and by the way, we're going to try and freeze the prices, it's just not good enough. And I have to say to you, I looked at what the Trades Union Congress was proposing, and I'm looking at what the Labour Party is talking about, and I'm thinking to myself, well, look, you're right, Alistair, the sticking plaster approach won't work either. So it's time for big decisions. You cannot have a situation where parts of the privatised energy, water and other utilities markets are effectively run very often by European state-owned corporations, getting subsidies from us, which are being repatriated. EDF customers in France paying 2.5 times less than people do in Britain. It's ridiculous. And
but also hitting Macron and his government for billions and billions in subsidy as well. Let me bring Maureen